Hi, I'm Nafis.
I'm Macy.
And I'm Simone. Oh my god.
And welcome back to I Was Thinking.
Yes. A podcast where we still don't know what the hell we're doing. Dear Lord.
That's the beauty of it.
Did we want to redo that? Because I just straight up cursed. Because I was like mid-sentence and then I could see your mouth on it and I'm like,
Do we want to restart or will we want to keep this in?
It might be kind of funny.
Yeah, we could just keep it.
Okay, it don't matter at this point.
They should be used
guys.
To our incompetence.
Right. And I mean, and the people that are already listening to us already know.
As we state many times, we're not professionals at this, and we do this on our free time, and we haven't recorded together in a while. So,
yes.
Wow, since it's been all three of us.
Exactly. It's been since Turning Red, right?
Oh, yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
while ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Usually I would ask everyone at this time, like, how they're doing. But we have I won't say heavy topic, but we got a lot to talk about. So we won't go too much into detail. Just remember, guys, I'm just trying to survive this world that is currently on fire.
So please don't cancel us.
Oh, speaking of the world being on fire, did you hear about somebody throwing cake on the Mona Lisa?
No.
That was a while ago, wasn't it?
It was a while ago, but we haven't talked since it happened. So, I mean, it was a couple weeks ago, but like somebody straight up threw cake onto the Mona Lisa. So, love humanity for that. Great.
A lot of stuff has happened.
I didn't hear about that. What was their reasoning? Like, why'd they do it? Just for laughs?
I have no idea. I didn't really look into it. I just saw like what happened. So
It wasn't like in protest of something, was it?
I have no idea. I don't know if they were just doing it for the laughs or if they were trying to make a statement.
Girl, I don't know at this point.
But anywho.
Either way, though, it's like cake.
Yeah.
It's better than like a lot of other stuff I can think of they might want to throw in.
Yeah.
Throwing black paint on it or something, like to completely ruin it, or a knife or something, like, you know, and damage it. But
Right. But imagine the people trying to restore it.
yeah.
It's going to take a minute.
Who knows? But yeah, guys, so we magically was able to all come together on this very important topic because I basically had to beg Nafis and Macy because I wanted to do an album review anyway, but like as the time got closer, I was like, I know we're all really busy. I'm busy myself. I really don't think this is gonna happen. And then as the weeks progressed, like all the stuff that I'm sure people know about happened, and I was like, okay, I kind of need to talk about this. So, and I feel like as they say they're closing the first chapter of their careers, we're also closing the first chapter of like us talking about the group. Because as I said before, when this podcast first started, in the trailer, if I break up BTS, y'all just gonna have to get used to it.
Mm-hmm. I think it's very rare for us to have an episode where we don't mention them at least once, even if it's something trivial.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like it always
That's
comes
true.
up.
It's true.
And I don't mean to. It's just sometimes I just can't help it. But like, even with this podcast, you know, the only group when we started the game, they're actually kind of the reason I like thought of the game, like created the game, because I thought it was fun when me and Macy thought we were going to do YouTube and we're like, we don't want to show our face on camera. So there was that. And then it progressed to us talking about other groups. And then they're also the only group that me and Nafis did an album review for when they came out with B. So, I mean, I thought it was fitting.
Right. I feel comfortable saying, too, that there are all of our favorite groups. Like it's...
Yeah.
Right. Or each of our number one favorite groups is them. So makes sense that they would come up.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So we're going to have fun, guys. I promise. We're going to have fun. We're going to talk about the stuff that happened. I am nervous because I'm trying not to say anything. Not to like not get canceled, but it's kind of like...
I say it preemptively? Don't come for us.
Thank you, Macy. Because I think in the light of everything that we will talk about, I'm kind of over it. There's just some stuff I'm over. So
I would think that the people that you would upset probably, I mean, with, like, just don't listen to our podcast, you know?
Probably.
Because we don't have the same energy anyway, so.
And thankfully so, I guess.
Thankfully so. We small, but it just takes that one person to, like, find us and post it. That's my number one fear. Did I ever tell y'all that? No, my number one fear is, like, becoming a meme online.
I mean, memes are fun, as long as it's not, like, a bad one.
But then, like, they last forever.
Yeah, so does everything on the internet.
That's true.
Good or bad, so.
And some people that are made out of memes don't get paid for it. That's another bad thing. You don't get any compensation.
Yeah.
For memes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how many, like, phrases and stuff have just been started by, like, regular people and they turn into, like, everyday kind of pop culture trends now and they've never seen a dime?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Screw you for being funny.
So, yeah. So, we'll get onto it. And then, yeah. So, let's get on to our actual topic, shall we? I'm going to be doing a lot of talking, guys. I know we do a podcast, but, like, we take so many breaks. Sometimes I forget, like, dang, I do not talk like this
normally
in person. Yeah, normally. So, I'm like, my mouth's already tired.
It's okay.
You got this.
Thank you. Thank you. So, yes, we will be talking about Proof, which is the anthology album that just came out by BTS celebrating their 9th anniversary. Before we get into the album, I figured I should just talk a little bit about Festa since June is the month that they debut and they always celebrate like the first, I would say 2 weeks really of June for their debut. And then just happened to be around the time they dropped the album, which I'm sure was intentional, especially learning the stuff we know now. It's like at first, before I was when I was oblivious, I'm like, feel like I was going to say so much different stuff. And now the stuff I know now, I'm like, I just see everything so differently. You know, like when you speculate something, but you either choose to ignore it or like it just doesn't catch up. And then like when something's revealed, like when you're watching a really good TV show, and then like everything's revealed and you just start looking back like all the clues were there. And I either just ignored it or I wasn't paying close attention.
Hindsight.
Right. And you start seeing it. It's like it was right there in your face.
Yeah.
This whole time. So that's kind of how I've been feeling for the past week.
Yeah. That's how I felt too.
I mean, I think all of us have been like mentally bracing for this for a long time because the longevity of K-pop groups is kind of speculated. So
yeah, we knew it was coming and I knew it was coming. I was always prepared, but I think it just happened quicker than I thought, or I was expecting it later in the year. So, but anyway, let's talk a little bit about Festa. Then this one was a little different, and this should have been my first clue, because even when they posted like the little schedule of like what they're going to do each day, I kind of said to myself, I was like, oh, I mean, I also thought it was because like the album was coming out and like, you know, me, I was even you'll hear in old podcast episodes, I just kept saying like, oh, they're going to go on tour. They're going to go on tour. So I thought it was like, maybe they're not holding a concert for Festa that they always did because they're preparing for tour. Oh, how wrong I was. How wrong I was. It's okay. But yes. So mostly they did what they always do, which came out with Family Portrait. This was one of the things I was going to be like, should I say it? Should I not say it? Have you guys seen those pictures for the Family Portrait?
I don't think so.
I saw one of them, few of them.
If I've seen it, I may not know what I was looking at. Like,
okay,
you know what I mean?
It's basically them like in suits and then like with the white backdrop. I think some of the poses they recreate from like old pictures and some of them they don't. I was just going to bring up like, I'm surprised in 2022 we're still whitewashing them as heavily as those pictures were. Like, it was bad.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen them in order to comment on that.
Yeah.
I wish I had sent them to you guys because I just thought we were done. And like, I get it. We still have this thing over there that I won't talk too much about, like how they see skin color. But like, the editing of like whitewashing them already on a white background, I can only really see them because of their hair color is dark and the clothes they were wearing. So that was just one thing. It was just like heavily, they looked weird. I wish it wasn't edited to that point so badly, but
Yeah, I don't think I've seen these pictures. Are they trying to hit a certain concept with it, maybe?
I don't think so, because I know some of pictures, because like the other pictures they released later on of like them dressed up throughout the decades of like significant moments that happened to them, it was not edited that badly.
Yeah.
I can send them to you after we're done so you guys could see. But yeah, no, they were bad as far as like the editing. Just. And then I blame Precious because she's really into makeup, not as much anymore. But like, I remember I was with her a long time ago and we were watching something. And it was a reality TV show. And she commented on the girl's face as far as her makeup. And now she showed me a thing where like you just look at a person's neck and their face, you could tell like the makeup doesn't match their skin color. So now like I point that out now. So that's all I could see sometimes when I look at people. And I definitely saw it in these pictures.
Their hands too. In their hands.
In their hands, yeah. I noticed that a lot too. Like even when I watch like K-dramas, like I can tell they put a lot of white makeup, especially on actors that have like darker skin. And like you can tell. So, okay, yeah, so I didn't think I was going to go on a little rant like that, but I ended up doing it anyway. One of many, probably in this episode. So the next things that they were releasing throughout the first 2 weeks was dance practices, and they range from like old to new. So from, of course, when they debuted in 2013 to now. So like the videos they released was We Are Bulletproof, Part 2, and No More Dream, and they kind of mix it up like a melody. They did N.O., Danger, Butterfly, Am I Wrong? And I was going to pause real quick for this one because I don't think I talked about it much when me and Macy played the game, but I actually really liked this song. It was going to be on my list, but like I had no room to put it on there. But I really like Am I Wrong?
Me too.
So, yeah. They did Tomorrow, Mic Drop, Moving Version, Pied Piper, Best of Me, Airplane Part 2, Black Swan, Butter, and then the Butter version that they performed at the Grammys. So they also released selfie collections from 2021 to 2022. They did something else, and it was in Korean, so I didn't have time to figure out what it was that they released. But there's something else that I'm missing, and also just a song for ARMYs, which was created this time by Jungkook, and he called it My You, which also is like a play on word for Korean word, and I cannot remember what it is. But just know that it's a play on word that kind of has like the same connotation as the English word My You, and I think how you say it is also like how you say it in English. And then in his V Live that I'll actually talk about a little bit later, he said he got the idea of the song from a V Live he did, I think last year. Yes, where he was, I don't remember if he tweeted this or if he put it on his Instagram, where he was asking fans to send him just like song lyrics. And then he got on V Live and he was basically making a song during that V Live. Now, I didn't watch the whole thing because I think it's almost like 2.5 hours long. But if I have time, I might go back and watch it. I just remember seeing highlights of it. So yeah.
Which one was your favorite?
What did you ask, Nafis?
I said, which one was your favorite of the dance practices?
Ooh, that's hard. Oh, I wish you didn't ask me that. Okay, so I never saw the live like performances that they did for Am I Wrong? So I like that. And I know there's like some type of messages with the dance as well as the song. So I thought that one was cute. I enjoyed Butterfly because I didn't know there was a dance for Butterfly. So that one was nice. Of course, Black Swan's like one of my favorite songs and dances. So
I love Black Swan. That's such a pretty song.
And the things I know now that I'll bring up later, it just hits harder now every time I hear it.
Yeah.
And I really like the Butter, the Grammy version that they did, because I watched the performance for the Grammys. So that was cool. How they're like spies and like going through the lasers. Did you guys watch any of them or no?
I watched the Grammy one for Butter, but the other ones I kind of just kept going.
What about you, Macy?
I don't think I've watched any except for I think I watched the Am I Wrong one, and I think I saw snippets of the Butter one on TikTok. I see a lot of stuff on TikTok, and then I feel like I think that I've watched it, but then I realize that I haven't watched the full thing.
Same with me on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. So I've definitely seen a lot of snippets of stuff, but I don't think I've watched the full. I haven't gone to the YouTube channel and watched the full dance practices except for Am I Wrong?
Yeah. And then, of course, like I saw the old one, so I've already seen like the We Are Bulletproof, No More Dreaming.
Yeah, I've seen those.
I know In Danger. So it was just funny. It was just
I've seen
like how they were doing, reminiscing. So they were so young, so energetic. The We Are Bulletproof and the No More Dream dance practice, they kind of always make me laugh because there's a part, I think it's in No More Dream, you know, when they all lift up their shirts. I can't get over that. I remember I turned it on because I wanted to learn the dance, and I saw that part and I had to stop because I kept laughing so much. I was like, oh, you guys were so young. Trying to be so tough.
Right.
Memories, adorable. I love it. And then have you seen or heard of the song that Jungkook put on YouTube? The Army song? It's actually really cute how he does it too, because he like pretends he's like texting you, and then like it goes to like off his Instagram, and he does like little things where like includes the other members and like their actual Instagram handles. So
Speaking
it's
of which,
adorable.
can we talk about what he did to his Instagram?
Listen, I was trying not to talk about it, but as much as I made fun of him for the alphabet, I miss it so much. I'm upset. Like, I miss it.
I mean, well, he scared the shit out of everybody by deleting everything. And just to be a little aesthetic
and pleasing, you know, and that's why I don't use Instagram that much anymore, because I know there's a trend now where like you post pictures and you have to go on people's pages to make one big picture. I'm noticing a lot of people are doing it. Like Card is coming back and they're doing that. And I'm like, I hate this. I just want a normal picture to like.
Yeah, I like it when people do normal pictures, but then you go to their page and it all kind of fits the same like theme or aesthetic.
Yeah, I kind of like how J-Hope does it.
But yeah, I like when people post actual pictures, but it all fits the same like theme and aesthetic. I really like that. In fact, I've thought about doing that myself and like just starting over, but I don't post enough to like make it worth it. So maybe
I'll post once every 7 months.
Maybe I'll do that with my puppy. I'll make her an Instagram.
Oh, you gonna be one of those people now? Make your pet?
I just think she's gonna be so cute, and I am a groomer, so it would be good for me to like groom my own dog and post pictures, and you know
that's true.
I could post other grooms I do. It doesn't have to be just her, but I could have like a portfolio Instagram that has all my work on it.
Yeah. Damn.
Right.
Okay. I'm gonna say this on the recording. Okay, guys.
Fails of all time. Jeez.
Yo, guys, if there's like a huge gap right now, I'm gonna fix it on the editing. But we just went through like major technical difficulties that we've never experienced before.
Nafis has entered the black hole.
I don't know what happened. So we basically lost Nafis. We can't get her back. She told us to just continue, which like makes me really sad, but
she's having some construction right now at her place, so her Wi-Fi is just not working, and we can't get on a call with each other, so we can't hear each other, which means she's gonna try to put some of her thoughts and opinions in a separate recording, and we'll add them in though, so you'll get to hear her thoughts.
So I guess the show must go on though, because I really want to talk about this. I was hoping it'd be all three of us, but
the internet is so fast. If we wait a couple days, it's not going to be relevant anymore. So
yeah. Girl, I don't even know where we
already
left.
almost an hour and a half in at this point. Like since we started our first call, so like I got shit to do, man.
I don't even know where we left off. I don't know where to continue
We're talking about
this.
Jungkook's Instagram.
Oh my God.
Well, let's go back to like the main topic.
Okay, give me a second to regroup because that was like a challenge. We don't get paid to do this.
No, we do not.
It's fine. It's fine. You know what? You never know what the future holds. As BTS like to say, the best is yet to come. So, anyway, we'll go ahead and just start talking about the album Proof. So, it is an anthology album. A lot of the songs that are on there are songs they've already done, except for the demo. So we're only really going to focus on the 3 new songs. And then the only thing I want to talk about before we get into the actual album is just the Proof live that they did that came out 3 days after. Yeah, on the 13th. Did you watch that, Macy, or no?
No, I think I was working, so I didn't get to watch it live. And I don't know if I'm assuming that I can still watch it, but I haven't had a chance to.
Yeah, you can still go back on YouTube and watch it. It's only like 25 minutes long.
I saw it and I was going to set a reminder, but then I was working, so.
Yeah, that's okay. But basically, it looks like this is something they filmed when they were here in Vegas. Well, not here. I don't live in Vegas, but I just meant like here in the States.
The United States.
Yes. Because I know they came earlier before the actual concerts happened to do some stuff. So I think that, and I also think the music video yet to come, they filmed here. Because I don't know any desert-like areas like that in Korea. I could be wrong, but that looks like that was something filmed in Vegas. It would make more sense. But during that, they only performed 3 songs. So when it first came on, they performed Born Singer, the title track Yet to Come, and For Youth. We did not get a performance of Run BTS, sadly. And then they were teasing before that there was going to be a special guest. So the special guest ended up being Anderson .Paak, which also makes me think this was filmed in Vegas because him and Bruno are doing like a residency there for Silk Sonic. And he played the drums for them for during Yet to Come. And then I just also wanted to shout out the band and the backup singers because they were doing their thing, helping the whole performance be magical. So they all looked great. BTS looked great. The band looked great. The backup singers looked great. And they all did an amazing job. So yeah. Okay, so let's start with the comeback we were all waiting for, Proof, which was released on June 10th, 2022. The title track is Yet to Come, The Most Beautiful Moment. And I did something different with this one. I just wrote down like the producers, and I'm assuming the names in the parentheses are people that helped write it. So my little disclaimer, if I mess up any of these names, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying. And yeah, just in case I mispronounce or butcher any of these names. So Yet to Come was produced by P-Dog. And in parentheses, which I'm assuming are the people that helped write it, are P-Dog, RM. Max is listed on here, and I don't know if this is the Max that I know of or a different Max. I think this is the American Max that we know of. I didn't know he took part in this. But his name's on there. Again, unless this is a different Max that I don't know about, but I don't think so. Dan Gleiser, Suga, and J-Hope. So yeah, Macy, was there anything you wanted to talk about Yet to Come with the music video song itself? I know it was really just a song about like reflecting and kind of like the message they're really portraying before all the news came out that this is only their beginning. There's more to come. They basically look back of like all that they've done so far.
Yeah, I mean, the music's, I like this song. It's not my favorite song out of the new ones, but I think it's really cute, and I think that the music video made me super nostalgic, even though I haven't been with them since the very beginning. I recognize a lot of the like call outs to the old episodes, the old MVs, and like just the progression. And I've seen back to my, I watch a lot of stuff on TikTok, and I've even like people are doing the side by side of the like original video and then the call out in this new MV, and like I noticed a lot of them, but there are so many in there that I didn't even notice, so it's cool to like watch the comparisons. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Overall, I like the song. I did look up the lyrics to all of these songs, so that I got the gist of like what they were talking about, even though I mean it's kind of obvious in this one, but like just so I know exactly what's going on. So overall, I like it, and I really liked the music video. It made me very emotional. So,
do you want to point out some of the stuff you noticed? Like, I know it's closer towards the end, but like the school bus was supposed to represent. That's probably my favorite part.
Yeah, is like
No More Dream.
Like the comparison of them acting all tough, like getting off of the bus in the beginning, and then just being really peaceful, and it's like monochromatic and just, they've obviously matured, but it's still a part of them, which is cool to me. Yeah,
and then like the way they were running, I think that's a scene from Run or I Need You. I could tell it was from The Most Beautiful Moment in Life era, but I cannot remember which one. I know there's a couple shout outs to like Blood, Sweat, and Tears with like the statue, even though it was made out of sand, but it's supposed to represent the statue there. I think someone said something about the flower that V stands next to is also Blood, Sweat, and Tears. I know the swing in the back, or I don't know what that structure really is. I just know, is it supposed to be a swing set? Behind Jungkook, and where it says you never
the, like carnival ride.
That is it like a carousel type thing? I don't remember.
Or those rides that have like you sit in the swings and they go in a circle. I don't know what those are called.
That's why I keep calling it a swing.
But yeah, I think people would know. If you go to your local fair every year, they usually have one of these.
God, I have not been to a fair in so long.
And they're probably really dangerous, but like they're fun.
I used to like those rides.
I loved them too. They were one of my favorites, but it's just like chain links hooked to a plastic seat, like 20 feet in the air, swinging you around. Like, that can't be safe.
Oh God. Pretty much. And then, so that, and then like it had what I said about their album, You Never Walk Alone's on there. Of course, RM with the trailer in the back, which every time they had to come back before, they would always refer to that picture. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to point out each different one for each member.
There's so many.
There is a lot. So
it's like so many that I can't think of specific ones.
Pretty much. And then I think the desert is supposed to represent their hidden song C, because I know they talk about the desert in that song, but I haven't looked up the lyrics for that song in a while, so I cannot break it down. Hopefully this is the part where if Nafise talks about this, I can put in what she thought about it. So, man, it's just, y'all gonna have to bear with me. This is not going according to plan.
No, it is not.
But it's okay. We're gonna keep pushing through. I have the lyrics pulled up, and I was trying to pull out one. I might not be able to find it, because there was a verse where I think Yugi was talking about how, like, I guess this really reflects, especially with the news, like they just really wanted to make music, because he brings up like basically their fame and how like it's a lot, and it changed them in some ways, but just not really. I think it changed them in like ways of trying to handle it, but just like not their love for the music, you know?
I mean, that's ultimately what they've always been about. And part of the reason I like them so much is that they're really humble people. And like, they're just doing this to make music because it's what they love. And they just happen to be put on this grand pedestal. So it's difficult to deal with sometimes because they're just like a group of guys that really like to make music. So yeah, I think that's kind of what they're getting at.
Yeah. I see that. So yeah, guys, yet to come. And I will agree with you on this one. I won't say like it's not my favorite, but like out of the three,
it's just not my, yeah.
Yeah. And I guess I'll talk about it a little bit more towards the end when I bring up the news. So yeah, yet to come. And it's already won, I think, like 3 music show wins. I don't usually talk about the music show wins because I don't really pay attention to them. I just know that it's already winning.
Yeah.
So go watch the music video, guys. It's still beautiful. And like even before I knew what I know now, like when I was watching it, I'm like, dang, this really is like a song, not even just like their dedicated song for youth, but this really, I feel like this in the whole album is really for like their fans. Because if someone who doesn't know much about BTS or like really follow them, even if you join the fandom late, like if you didn't go back and like watch it, you really wouldn't understand the significance of it. So not saying you still can't enjoy it, but I think fans are able to like look at it deeper to why people are looking at them like, why are they crying so much? Because it just holds a different meaning than if you're just like a non-fan watching this. Even the lyrics, I feel like. So that's it. So we're going to go ahead and move on with the second song called Run BTS. Is Run BTS on the second CD? It's on the second CD, right? That starts.
I don't know.
I think so. I think Yet to Come is on the first CD and Run BTS is on the second one. It's the first song that starts off like the CD where the members chose songs that felt like they represent them. So this song was produced by Dem Joints for You Made Us What We Are LLC and Ghost Loop. And then the writers are Dwayne Abernathy Jr., who is actual Dem Joints' real name, RM, Ebenezer, J-Hope, Ghost Lip, Jungkook, Suga, One Eye, Daniel Caesar, Ludwig Lindell, Melanie Joy Fontana, Michael Lindgren, Schultz, and Feli Ferraro. Dear Lord.
It's a lot of names.
It was a struggle trying to be like, don't stumble and mispronounce these. Okay, another controversial thing that I wanted to bring up with this song. So I don't remember if this happened before we did our K-pop highlights or not, but when the track list was released, Macy, before I get into it, do you recognize the name Dem Joints? Because you listen to other K-pop groups.
Vaguely.
Okay.
But no, I don't know anything about him or what he also has worked on. I've just heard the name.
Yeah, so he's actually a really like involved producer. Like he's worked with a lot of artists. If you do just like a quick Google search that I did last night, because I know him through K-pop. I didn't know him about his other work. 3-time nominated. I don't know if he won any Grammys. And it's just some names like Western artists that I'll point out that he's worked with. Eminem, Dr. Dre, Kanye, Rihanna, Janet Jackson. Those are big names that he has helped make songs for. For K-pop, he works a lot with SM, specifically NCT and NCT 127. So if you hear a song, I know it's also in SHINee's newer song, Don't Call Me, and that new girl group, NMIX, and a lot of NCTs. If you hear a song start off with the introducing, that's him. So you've heard his work. Yeah, especially us, because we're, we listen to other groups. What they call us on the internet, multis. I'm doing air quotes for people who can't see me. So when people who know him, and I tweeted this on our podcast Twitter account, because I was like, out of all the things I have seen being involved in K-pop, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen, because people were getting mad that he was involved in this song before we even heard the song because they know he's associated with NCT and these weird fandom wars that I still don't understand. I'm really getting tired of and like over with. And like, I know people were getting mad at him because he quoted someone who was like, I forgot what the tweet said, but he like basically clapped back. And I know some people were like, why are you clapping back in an account that was just made today? I'm like, you really think someone who's being attacked for no goddamn reason is going to take time, look in their account, be like, oh, this must be a troll, they just made it today? Like, no, I'm gonna answer you back. Like, it was so stupid.
I'm sorry, but like, well, first of all, regardless of who he's worked with before, he is I'm assuming a producer.
Yes.
Or a writer.
Both.
So like he has no claim to one specific group. He's worked with all these other artists, including NCT, so now it's a problem that he's working with another K-pop group.
Well, specifically BTS. I know, like, I was seeing some tweets where they're like, they better not hear, like, you know how I just did his producer tag a while ago, like, hear that on the song. And now that the song's released, now this is one of the most, like, talked about songs I've seen. Yeah. And I'm like, okay.
I mean, obviously he's good. If you like him doing other songs, why wouldn't you want to spread that talent elsewhere?
Because I just thought it was so dumb.
I'm never going to understand that. So I'm not
either. I just thought it was dumb. He's a grown-ass man, but like I felt bad, and I was like, he's got to
make his bank. If he has an opportunity to work with BTS, why would he not do that?
This is his job. This is his job, and he did a pretty good damn job at it. So
yeah, he has no obligation to stick with one person or group
unless he's under a contract, and obviously he's not. So
that's dumb.
And it's just fun. It's just funny to me how how the conversation turned once the song was released.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, yeah, slaps, I'm not. So like, get over it.
Not gonna forget y'all talking about this man, calling him out his name before you even heard a note of it.
Yeah, no.
So that just really pissed me off, and I just had to say it because people were out of pocket for that. I don't care who you stand. That was so uncalled for.
Yeah.
So, and like you said, I'm sure you agree, it's our favorite song out of the three.
By far. It's constantly on repeat in my car right now.
Listen, when that first chorus like hit and J-Hope was growling, that run, bulletproof run, I was like, The way Jimin and Jungkook sing the word gasoline, perfect. They're all just like, oh my god, it's just I have no words. Like, I can't express how much I love.
Jin does it too, but like just the specific.
Yeah. And then like I got this off the Weverse magazine. I don't really read the Weverse magazines that much, but I know they did another round of like interviewing each members. So I briefed through a couple of them. And then the one that Yoongi did, I just took when they asked him a question about it. He said that they wanted to do a song like from their older style. So they chose like a title that shares its name with their variety show that they all love. And excuse me, I just like burped a little. Sorry. And reflects who they are, always running. So he also said all the members have come like a long way, and there's times when they're exhausted, but there are also things that they want to try moving forward. And they try to convey that in the song, like their desires moving forward. And I can tell, because like the whole thing is really, I feel like encouraging. Well, not encouraging. I'll say it shows how like their motivation when things got hard, that their one thing was just like keep pushing. And I think they used like run as a metaphor of like keep moving forward, basically. So
yeah.
And I don't know what it means, but I really liked at the end where Namjoon kind of switched it up, where instead of saying run bulletproof, he says run beautiful. And I almost thought that was me just like mishearing it. But I was like, oh no, he actually says that. So I'm sure there's a deeper meaning for that, but it's a banger. It's hype. And it has that like hip hop / like rock influence with it, which they do very well. I keep saying like Jin, as with his solo stuff that we'll talk about soon, he needs to put some trot in there. He needs to put some rock in there because he's very good at it. Oh, yeah. And then also like later, like J-Hope's verse when he was basically like just shouting out each member, just telling them that they worked hard. And like, I think in a way his verse was like trying to encourage him and the members on their future endeavors. So I thought that was sweet. Yeah. And it just basically the whole song reiterates the whole like, we're here, we came from here, and now we're here. The success, it's nice, but it doesn't really matter too much to us. Not to say it doesn't matter at all, but like I'm sure that level of success is hard on anybody. I really don't care what people say, and I know they use the excuse of like money to like contemplate what there's, you know, the criticism, but we're all still human at the end of the day, guys. So yes, and then like Namjoon's little like diss, and he's like, you know, I can't say the Korean, I don't remember the Korean, but he's like something, got that, good music, got that, good team, goddamn. I was like, yes. You better tell them, June.
Right.
Is there anything else you wanted to say about Run BTS?
Not really, just that they're, you know, talking their shit and it sounds really good. So
as always.
Yeah.
And they don't have to do it all the time, but like when they do.
No, yeah.
When they do.
I love their beautiful, soft, emotional songs, but then we come out with like, I'm trying to think of other examples.
BTS Cypher 4, Mic
Yeah,
Drop.
like the Cyphers, or what's the one they do with the boxing gloves? I'm like blanking.
Ugh.
Yes, I love that song. I love those every once in a while thrown in, just like hard, not hard, but like just more exciting, like rap. That's like the fun, more throwback sound. I love that. So
yeah, and then like for songs to include the whole group, I guess I can compare this with Mic Drop. It's not as like I would say fast paced as Mic Drop, if you understand what I'm trying to say, but like it's still along those lines of like having the whole group basically do like the talk their shit type songs.
Yeah, but that's also interesting is the fact that this is kind of one of their first songs that has like everybody doing it.
First or second.
Both those songs I mentioned are just the rap members. So
yeah, I would say second. I would consider probably Mic Drop, honestly, if I'm thinking about the whole discography, really their first song where they talk about like their success, about like other songs for like the money and all that.
They talk about their success in Dope, which is
that's true. That's true. So we'll count Dope, Mic Drop, and now Run BTS for group wise. And then like we said, the rap line just, you know,
they do it all the time.
Not all the time. They did before 2018. So yeah. Run BTS, go listen to it to get your life.
I play it. I've been playing it in the morning when I have to do my early shifts to try to wake myself and get myself hyped for the day.
There you go. And just shout out to Dem Joints because he did the damn thing.
Yeah, stop bothering the man.
Stop bothering people. That's really my whole thing of like this whole podcast.
Stay in your own lane. Just enjoy what they're producing and like get over yourself.
Just enjoy it, and if you don't like it,
yeah, you don't have to like
fine.
it. You're allowed to not like stuff, but just don't be a jerk about it. Especially before you even heard it. That's mind-blowing to me.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, y'all didn't even hear the song yet. Like, that song didn't drop yet. Judge it when it comes out.
Anywho, we're gonna get mad if we keep going down this one. It's gonna make us mad.
It was just, I say a lot, but just this seriously just made me upset. And then, no, I won't say this. Let me move on before. I could save it for later. Okay. So let's move on to the last song, which is the fan song that's on CD3, but it's also available on digital, which is called For Youth. And it is produced by, I already know I'm going to mispronounce this name because there is an accent over the E, so I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Raget. How do you pronounce the E when there's an accent over it?
It's more of an O sound. If in French, anyway. I don't know. Like E turns into more of an O.
So it's like R-O-G, the E with the accent over it, T.
Oh gosh, I can't visualize that. I would need to write it down.
Okay, because I don't know, like I can't read this name and be like where, like if this is French, if this is German, I can't like decipher. Yeah,
not a lot of languages use the accents over their letters, but like rose, that it makes the A sound. It depends. It can be an O sounding or it can be A sound, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine. So I'll say Roged. I already know I'm pronouncing it wrong. Chayed, Ahmad Royal, and then for writer credits it's RM, Ahmad Blaze, Rayleigh, Drew Love, Forrest, J-Hope, Sugar, His Noise, Slow Rabbit, and the one and only man, Hitman Bang, PD Nim. So yeah. And this song definitely made me a lot more emotional than Yet to Come.
Yeah. I think I would, like, if I'm going to rank these, I would put Run BTS first, this one next, and then Yet to Come. As far as, like...
I think we have the same order, because I would definitely rank it the same. So, but yes, it basically, again, talks about like the upbringing, where they started from, and then where they are now. But it really mostly thanks the fans of where they've gotten, especially like, I know there's some parts in the lyrics where they talk about like the times they felt like they were struggling. You know, they always were able to lean back on the fans, support the fans, got into where they are without really asking for much in return, or really not asking for anything in return. So they're just like graceful for that. I know there's one part in like English, I can't remember where Jungkook's talking about, you're my best friend for life. And every time I hear him saying that, I'm like, oh, love you too, bestie.
Don't make me cry.
But yeah, that's basically it. Oh, I'm like skimming through the lyrics, and I see one line that says like, "Together we make us. I'll never forget. You're the flower that bloomed all my spring days." Ugh.
We're not good with emotions and expressing them.
We're really not. Yo, can I just like off tangent real quick? Whoever, if they decide in the future they like want to get married, those vows for their partners,
right? Gosh,
poetry.
I saw a TikTok once again of like, you know, it's like guys saying like, if you don't propose to me like how BTS writes their lyrics, I don't want it. And it's just so sentimental and sweet. Like instead of like the traditional like, oh yeah, I'll love you forever, like whatever, but like,
or just like I'm just appreciative,
a little bit more poetic in your appreciation.
Yeah, because you don't really see that a lot. Like I know artists always shout out their fans and they appreciate their fans. I believe every artist do, because like they wouldn't be where they are if you're some type of famous without someone advocating for you, whether it's like sharing your work or just like buying all your things. But like, I don't know. I don't want to sound biased, but I really do feel like it's interesting of like the way BTS actually interact with their fans and like vice versa. Like it really is kind of like, without getting too much into it, because like we don't know the stuff we don't see off camera, but at the same time they feel comfortable with the things they do share with us, and it is a lot more than they really have to.
Yeah, I think it's just the running theme of like, I've never really been in a fandom per se for like a music person or anything, or like a show or whatever. And so this is my first real experience with it. And I think I haven't gotten into ones in the past because I haven't felt that genuine connection with a group or a person that I don't know.
Yeah.
So like some part of me is like, how can you fake that genuineness? So it makes me feel that it's real.
Yeah.
And I do think that they share more than they need to. And I think they care about their fans' opinions more than they really need to, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, we'll get to in that when we talk about the dinner too, because I kind of agree at the same time. So I would say I kind of got close like that when I was younger. I did have a weird thing for like Awesome Home, which like I regret now. I'll never say that with BTS. Like I don't feel like I'll ever, no matter how old I am, will regret ever being a fan of theirs. So, but like you were saying, even with the whole thing with me liking him, I never felt this like genuine balance of like respect between an artist and a fan, I would say.
Yeah.
So
The open communication is different.
So, and then I think that's also just me as a person, because like I really like them, and obviously y'all heard throughout this whole podcast, I don't shut up about them, but like I don't idolize them, because that's like where it turns bad, because you don't see them as human, and that's where things get, you know, tricky and scary for them and the fans. So like I think people really need to learn that like you still need to see them as humans and treat them as humans. So
boundaries, people.
Yeah, boundaries.
Anyway, as far as like the last thing I really wanted to say about the album in general is I'm so glad we have like Born Singer on an album, because I'm obsessed with that song. I'm
really surprised J. Cole cleared it for them. I mean, it's a good thing, though. I didn't add it on here because it's not really a new song, so I didn't know if we should talk about it or not. But
I was just going to shout it out real quick. I don't think it's necessary to go in depth because people have heard it, but I just
not
really
everyone, though,
it.
and I think that's why they put on a new thing, especially for the new fans they garnished or gained over.
Yeah, I hadn't listened to it in a while, and I'm like, this is such a good song. Like I would put like I haven't, if I'm being completely honest, I haven't really been going back and listening to the other songs because I've played them a million times. I've just been listening to like the new songs, but in order I've been listening to Run BTS, Born Singer, My Youth, and then is it My Youth or For Youth? For Youth. And Yet to Come. Like that's how I've been listening to these songs, like on repeat.
Yeah.
So
I get that.
In order of how much I'm repeating them.
One thing real quick about Born Singer, I still think it's funny how they just like, because I know Namjoon cusses in that, and
so
they but they bleep Namjoon now, and I'm like, we know what he's saying. Don't bleep.
Yeah.
we grown. Well, not all their fans are grown. You know what? Never mind.
I get it, but at the same time, like if you're gonna bleep it out for both of them, not just. I guess
maybe it's different because
it's a different cussing. Word, so I don't know.
Is it because? Well, wait. Does he cuss in English or in Korean? I didn't know if that made a difference or not.
I don't know. I mean, if in
their older songs,
lyrics,
they cuss too in English.
Yes.
And some of them, I'm like, why don't the? I'm surprised this doesn't have an E rating.
Maybe it's for effect. I don't know. The bleep sound is like for effect on some level.
I don't remember if the bleep sound was on the version that was on SoundCloud or not. I can't remember, and I don't know if it's on SoundCloud anymore since they put it on the album. I heard it got taken off, but I haven't checked it myself.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I don't know either. But I did actually. I think either the day it came out. Yeah, the day Proof did come out digitally. I went and listened through it all the way through. And like, I get it. I understood it. And I felt like I was on a journey with them. And it was funny how like I was just like hype and dancing to their old songs like they just came out yesterday. Like when No More Dream came out, you know, Sugar's Part, The Big House, Big Cars, Big Rings. I was like, yes. And then just down the journey of like it gets slower. I'm like, damn, I understand what he meant by like you need to listen to it from beginning to end. I got it.
Yeah.
And even the demos.
Like, I'm not saying I won't do it before this, but when we go for our long drive, I'm genuinely looking forward to like actually playing the CDs. And like the album's beautiful, by the way. I
love the art.
You haven't gotten it yet, or
now with the news I'm going to bring up a little bit later, I'll probably end up buying it. So
it was expensive. I went through a little bit of an annoying process in order to get it because the only place. Well, I don't have a K-pop store anymore now that I've moved. Like, we can't go there together, obviously. So the only place near me that was selling it was Target. And
I heard it was a disaster with Targets the day it came out as far as ordering them.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Did you pre-order it? Or?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I was just gonna try to go buy it in person. So I went. My app, I have that Target app. It says, like, if things are in stock or not. So it said it was in stock, so I went. not there. So then I waited a couple of days and I'm like, well, maybe I'll just order it off Amazon. But by the time I went on Amazon, the pricing was weird. Like some of them, they weren't the right price. Like I don't know if people had bought them or trying to resell them, but I was seeing like $77, $100. I'm like, this isn't right. So I went back on.
How much is it? Because there's two versions. Okay, and the standard is the bigger one.
The bigger one, I guess. Mine says standard, but it's the 3 books and all the CDs in like the big heavy one. So.
Yeah, that's right. Because I said the same thing. I was confused because I don't remember what the smaller one is called. And I'm like, is it usually standard, the smaller one?
Yeah, you would think so. But
it's
that
fine.
one they had, it's just straight up the CDs, and I believe it's around $20. But anyway.
Okay, yes, I'm on Weverse right now. The 2 version is the standard edition, which is the bigger one, and then the compact edition, which is just the CDs. So on Weverse, not including the $80 shipping, it's $20.90, and then the standard is about like $65. So around like $80. Right. I
said 65 and 20.
Yeah.
So anyway, I went on Target's app to order it because I could get it in a couple of days and I had free shipping and whatever. So I ordered it, but then we happened to be going to Target like a couple hours later, even though on the app it said they were out of stock and they had 2 copies of it. So I canceled my order real quick and I bought it right there and then because I wasn't going to wait. So that's how I went about getting it, but it was frustrating.
Brianna sent me the pictures because she has the what is it, the one where they're like in black and standing in front of the target, right? The shooting target. That's what you haven't opened it yet, have you?
I have opened it, but I have not looked through it completely yet because I just got it yesterday. So I opened it. I looked at the photo cards. I skimmed through the books, but I haven't looked at each individual page yet. So
okay, yeah, they look nice. I mean, I'm more than likely probably going to buy it. So
there's like they gave you like all little photo cards of each member, and then they give you one bigger one. I got Jimin as my bigger one.
See, that's nice. I didn't know they were going to do that because I think I said something in our K-pop highlight episode where I wish it was going to be like B, where they give you all 7 of them, and I guess they did. So that's nice.
Yeah. And then you get like an extra one. I'm assuming that's the one that changes.
Yeah.
So,
which is fine. I'd rather have that because I don't want to be. I know it increases for sales, but hunting for each one, I'm like, can I just have all 7?
This album is too expensive to be hunting people. And if anybody does it, spend your money how you want to, but I cannot go album hunting with this one. $20 is one thing, but $65.
And the way our economy is going right now, we can't.
Do you know how much it takes to fill up my car? Oh my God, gas tank is so expensive. I have to pay for premium gas because I drive a Mustang, and that thing I spent $80 the other day to fill my tank up.
You literally bought an album just for gas.
Exactly. My gas tank was more than oh God.
We won't talk about it. That's not what we're going to talk about. We're going to move on.
I'm sorry. I'm adult complaining.
We always do, but that is the reality. Okay. Especially us like now in our, God, Macy, we are in our mid-20s. Can you believe that?
My knees hurt. The gas prices are too expensive. I feel like an old fart.
And then real quick, and then I'll move on. I saw a thing where like we might head into a recession in 2024. I'm like, we are not in a recession now. Right? Are you kidding me?
They want us to go through more hardship? Like,
oh, God.
Can we chill out for a minute?
No, apparently we can't. So stressful. Y'all, we just trying to survive out here. To be honest, we're just, we're trying to survive. But anyway.
Right, then. Enough complaining.
Adulting!
Freaking sucks, man.
Okay, so let's get on to the dinner.
Okay. I think we might have different outlooks on this, and I think I have a pretty positive one. So if you want to go first.
So I have both. I took a lot of pre-notes. So I am going to talk about, because I took some notes of like at the beginning when they're all just like talking and stuff. Mm-hmm. I think the way I'm projecting, it's coming off like it's a negative thing, but I don't see it either. So I understand how you were saying you see it more in a positive life, and I do as well. So I'll talk about it more when we get into it. But yeah.
Can we talk about how like cute Obi is when he drinks though? They kept having to bleep out his yawning. I was actually gone through it. He didn't even really talk that much. He's just enjoying himself.
And did made fun of him for that too. That's actually one of my bullet points. So before we start, like the whole mishaps with the articles, we are going off the English translation, guys. Just to let you know, we're not fluent in Korean. I am very behind on my studies, so we're just going off what the translations they gave us. So obviously it's a dinner, so they're gonna like casually, they're eating, talking, which I still don't like personally. I don't like watching people eat, but it's whatever, because I don't watch like those mukbangs or whatever. It's just
less invasive. They're not really having us like watching them chew and whatnot.
Exactly.
I like food sounds. That's what I don't like. I don't mind watching other people eat. It's just the sounds of people eating I don't like.
Yeah, but like we start off with them just having casual conversation. Yoongi starts talking about how busy they are. And this is what you were talking about, Macy, because Hobie actually brings up the memes from the 2018 Festa dinner of like, you know, where you would see those videos where he's all excited, he's drinking through the straw and like, and then he just gets quiet, red face, and he just like, I just want to take a nap. Yeah. I want to lay down.
Like my head is spinning. I want to be around, like.
Because I'm actually the total opposite. I don't drink a lot. I'm actually really not a drinker. I don't like the taste of alcohol. And it always surprises people when I say that. I'm like, I'm not going to force myself, guys. Sorry. But when I do, and I like the fruity ones because you can barely taste it, I do notice I start talking more. Like when I feel it, I could feel myself getting like bubbly, and I could, I can tell I talk more.
I have never once in my life been even slightly tipsy. So I have no idea what kind of...
Did you not get tipsy off the soju we had at my birthday?
I had like half a shot of that, so no.
Oh, girl, could you not tell I was a little... I think I was buzzed. I wasn't tipsy.
I think you were having fun, but...
I mean, I was having fun. I was having more fun.
I did not drink nearly enough of that to be tipsy, so I have no idea.
Yeah, no, I've never gotten like drunk before, and I know... like my roommates from college tried. I didn't even get to the fun part. I had 3 shots and like I was knocked out on my bed. Like my head was spinning. I'm like, I'm going to go to bed. And I went to bed. So I don't think I'm capable of getting drunk.
I have casually started. I like mixing like soju with Sprite. That is like the only drink that I will drink. And I think that I've drank at least 3 shots, but I don't feel anything. So maybe my tolerance is high.
You might just have a high tolerance. So
yeah, but I've never felt tipsy. I've never felt drunk, so I don't know.
Yeah,
but
interesting.
Not that it matters.
No, we don't need to. It's not all that scrapped up to be people, honestly. So, and then basically another thing in the same bulletin point, it's like where I kind of wanted to like, Jen, come on, what are you doing? Is when he talked about having a week off and he played video games for 20 hours and only ate 2 meals in those 4 days he was off. I was like, Jen.
Let him live. He's living out his
I want you to live a healthy life. Okay? Listen, play all the video games you want, but eat and go to sleep. Please.
I would think that he doesn't do that all the time. He just did it one time for fun.
And listen, I'm no saint either. There's been times where sometimes if I'm just like not in the mood, I won't eat 2. I'll maybe have like 1 or 2 meals. But come on, bro. In the 4 days, I had to get on him a little bit because like I kind of had to pause it. I'm like, don't make me fly there to force feed you.
He's such a foodie too. That surprises me that he would go that long. But just I want to know what game he's playing. How immersive is the game?
I think a variety of like just those online games. I'm not a gamer, so I really don't know. I know he talks about this one game called Maple Story a lot. I don't know if that's exclusively like a game only in Korea, or if like that's something I can find internationally as well. That's really the only game I know he's talked about. So I don't know what type of game that is either, but it just seems like one of those ones where you just like go online and you can like play with other people. I don't know if he plays games like off of like PlayStation and things like that or like Nintendo Switch. He might. I just don't know.
Yeah.
So yes, and then there was like a cute part where like they started antagonizing Jimin about his songs, and then like Jungkook got like a little bit upset. He's like, why don't you let me hear any of these songs?
Yeah.
I know Namjoon made a joke. He's like, listen, when it comes to Jimin, Hobie's the favorite here, so you're just gonna have to accept that at this point. He lets J-Hope listen to it first. He tells him first.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cute.
Yeah, he kept saying, I'm so upset.
I also noticed, now I don't know if this is just me, but I feel like this is the first time I noticed Yoongi talking a lot.
He seems really excited. He's also, I don't know how he breathes or sleeps or does anything with the new schedule he's been doing, sir. You don't need to be talented at everything.
I was gonna wait to bring that up later, but yeah. And I
how
remember,
does he have so much energy left?
girl,
He was even doing the that dance. Like, calm down.
was it the alcohol or you actually like this? I heard he is a lot more talkative, like off camera than on camera, which makes sense, especially around the members. But as I think, and I'm trying to think of other videos of like whether it's like the Bon Voyages or like, now I haven't watched a lot of the really old videos from like 2013 to like 16, so I don't know how he was back then either, because I also heard he's changed a lot from there. Like he was more, I guess, forcing the excitement, and then he learned like, oh, I don't need to do this, they're still gonna like me, and he just became himself, which is great. But yeah,
He looks genuinely happy throughout most of this video, which is really cool.
And I was happy for him. It was just something I needed to point out, because I'm like, I don't know if I've ever seen you talk this much before.
Yeah.
Jungkook was actually the one who was pretty quiet.
Jungkook and Hobie didn't talk much, yeah.
Yeah. So that's just really it. He just seemed giddy, which we love to see.
Yeah. Cheeky little smile. Get out of here.
They also brought up their friendship tattoos, which I know they've been talking about for a while. So I'm assuming when they recorded this at the time, they didn't, they weren't in the process of getting it because they didn't know what they wanted to get. I know one of them made a joke. I think Jimin said something about getting a line on their arm, and then I think it was J-Hope where he's like, it's just going to look like a pencil mark.
A pen mark, yeah.
Or a pen mark, like.
Part of me thinks Namjoon's afraid of the pain because he wants something really small.
Well, listen, do you not know who actually got the friendship tattoos? Have you not seen his tattoo?
I saw the 7 on Hobie's like calf, like the back of his leg, and then I know Jin got his like somewhere on his like back.
Yeah, so
And
what
then-
we know of now, they all decided to get 7 tattoos. And someone pointed out, I think it's the 7s from like Map of the Soul 7, where they each drew like their own version of 7s. So I don't know whose is whose and which ones got tattooed. So I've seen pictures from when they're performing for like the variety shows like Mnet and all that. The comeback song yet to come. Jimin has his on his finger. Like you just said, Jin has his somewhere on his back, and we only know that because Jungkook said that in his recent V Live. Namjoon has his on his ankle, on his inner ankle. And like, I remember when he posted those pictures, it was the day the album dropped. He posted like 3, like 1 was on his story and 2 on his Instagram. He's like, you guys are going to see my tattoo. Like, do you guys like my tattoo? Look at it. Isn't it so cute? He's really showing it off, and it's so tiny, but it's adorable. Like you said, I don't know where on the back of Hobie's leg his is. And his, I don't know if because of the way the picture is, his looks a little bigger than Namjoon's, which I'm actually surprised. Because even with the fans, we were all kind of like joking, like they had to force him to get it. Because, he doesn't have his ears pierced. But tattoo paint, well, not really paint. I feel like tattoos are different than piercings.
Yeah.
So Hobie's did look surprisingly a lot bigger. And he posted that on his Instagram. And actually today, you probably didn't see this, Macy, but Jungkook got his 7. So his is actually behind his ear now.
Okay.
Kind of like where Jimin has that tattoo youth. It's so funny how like Jimin and Jungkook, except for today, they just get tattoos and we don't know it until like some fan points it out. And then like the rest of the members are all posting theirs. So the only ones that we don't know got theirs yet is Taehyung and Yoongi. So Taehyung did post something today, also at the time of this recording, of an upside down 7. I'm pretty sure he just took a pen and drew that because he's like, I'm feeling left out. And it's upside down. I don't believe it's real.
Mm-hmm. And Yoongi said that he wanted it somewhere not visible, so I don't know if we'll see his.
Probably not. Mm-hmm. Unless a member points it out too. But also with Jungkook, because he got the tattoo, I'll send you a picture right now so you can look at them, because I know you haven't seen them, and I'll get your live reaction. He got a bunch of touch-ups on his arm. Mm-hmm. And cover-ups.
I saw some little snippets from his live, but you can't really see much.
Well, this is all happened recently, so I just sent you the picture, Macy, so you can see it.
Well, geez.
Yeah. He went
straight
in.
up got sleeves. Or
So
a sleeve.
A sleeve.
Yeah.
So it looks like, and he went to a different artist too. This artist did an awesome job. They look so cool. Mm-hmm. So it looks like they touched up the microphone and added more color to a lot of his tattoos that he already had. He covered up the eyeball that he had on his arm, and he replaced it with bulletproof. Mm-hmm. There were 3 lines close to his wrist next to the skull, making a hand signature that it looks like he covered up with a snake. Mm-hmm. He got color in the flower. I forgot. Is that a tiger lily? Yeah. Just more touch-ups. He got color in a mask that I didn't know he had on his arm, because we don't really get to see Jungkook's tattoos. Yeah. This is the first time we're actually seeing them. And I didn't know he had, what does this say? I think something it says winners. Winners never quit. He got that colored in.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, man. And now his little 7 behind his ear. My boy's tatted up.
Yeah.
And we're proud. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he'll get any more, like, anywhere else on his body besides his arm, because his arm only has so much room at this point.
Right. I feel like he's going to be the type, though. He's hooked now, so he's going to have to start expanding. If he hasn't already, we don't know for sure.
Right. And it's just amazing, like, where we were back then, because, like, as me and you discussed, like, we haven't been in the fandom long, and I have seen old clips when they were here in LA, I think in 2015, where they were doing that whole American Hustle thing. And he talked about wanting to get tattoos, to finally getting the tattoos. And it was during like Bon Voyage, where we would see like those leaked pictures of he has tattoos, but he had to cover them up. I didn't finish Bon Voyage, but I remember when I think he actually started getting them, because they made him wear a glove the whole time. Yeah. That also has to do with like the broadcasting roles in Korea, but still. And then to now, to where like he just casually sometimes shows them off. Mm-hmm. I'm proud of him.
Yeah, I love tattoos. We've discussed this in the past.
I really need to get the one that I got for my birthday covered up also, but that's just going to take some research to find a good tattoo artist that can tattoo on my skin. Mm-hmm. So what else I want to talk about before we get into the hardships? They also brought up like not living together anymore and how it made them closer. I don't know when they actually stopped like living together. Not that it's my business, but I'm really surprised y'all lasted so long living together. Like, I don't know how you are at home, but the 7 men in one place, I can only imagine.
No.
So, and they're talking about like, yeah, all the members now, like their personalities really come out and like their decoration of the room. Because when we were all going through quarantine, I think I can kind of tell like they're not living together anymore. When like Taeyong would like post like videos of him like in his living room, I think. I know there was one video that went viral of him like singing along to something on the TV and other stuff. So I have a feeling it was probably around like 2019, 2020. Because I remember seeing all those articles of them buying apartments. So, I mean, we knew they weren't going to last forever. They're almost in their 30s. Yeah, again, I'm surprised they last this long.
Everybody wants their own space and freedom, so.
I would really like that, but hey, again, the way this economy is going, that's going to be a while. I definitely cannot afford to live on my own.
It's hard.
So good for them. Obviously, they're BTS. They can't afford to live on their own, but still. Yeah. And what else? Oh yeah, I just thought this was a funny moment of like Jungkook. Like, I feel like this represents us as Gen Z, I can't talk about millennials, but just like us as Gen Zers. So like, I don't remember how this got brought up, but then Jin starts talking about the story where I guess in the old times where Jungkook bought a mattress for his top bunk. And instead of returning it, he took scissors and cut the mattress and used the scissors like they were assault. And basically like carved it out so it could fit in the top bunk.
That's just chaotic energy, and like I don't want to take something back. Like I hate taking things back.
Literally, when Yugi asked him why didn't you return it and get a new one, he said that would have been too much effort.
Mm-hmm.
And
cutting up your mattress little by little with a scissor is not hard work. Okay.
Oh my god, I like kind of related because it was like, there's definitely been times I've ordered stuff and it wasn't what I ordered, or like, especially with food, and I just don't take it back unless it's like the one rare time I'm like, this is what I wanted, I didn't get it, I'm gonna go back. But like, I'm definitely that person. There's been so many times my friend Alanis in college, one time she hit me up, she's like, are you in your dorm? I'm like, yeah, why? She's like, I bought this coffee and they got my order wrong, but I don't want to turn around and return it. Do you want it? I was like, sure, girl, it's free coffee.
Right.
So she brought me a large like vanilla iced coffee. I'm like, perfect. This is what I drank anyway.
Right.
So I get it.
Yeah, I don't care how much I hate whatever they put in my food and drink. I'm not going to ask for a different one. Unless my mom is there, then she'll do it for me. Because I'm a child.
If I'm with Precious, she'll do it. Especially for like her order though. But I'm just like, it's fine.
I don't know what that trait is of our generation, but like it's so hard to tell people they're wrong.
Is it anxiety? Do we feel bad? Like, what is it?
Like, I don't want to inconvenience you for making a mistake on my order.
Right.
Oh god, that's got to be toxic.
Oh no, it's not healthy, but we're not the only people that do it. Yeah. Especially if you ask other people our age, like, oh yeah, damn, this is more common than we thought.
Yeah.
Why do we all do it? So, yeah. All right. Well, let's get into more of the serious stuff. So, I mean, this was in the beginning, but like, I still wrote it down. So there was a part where they brought up Map of the Soul 7 and the On promotions and like, you know, the whole tour of getting canceled because of COVID. Because this tour, I feel like, looking at the dates and they were still going to add more, probably would have lasted them like a year. And this is speculation, guys, all allegations. I don't know if it's true or not because I thought it was mentioned in the dinner, but it wasn't. So I don't know if this is real or not, but I saw something to where, and like, Namjoon did say like after On he was starting to get like mentally drained, like that was kind of one of the turning points where he's like, I don't know what to write anymore, I don't know what to talk about. But I heard this break that they're taking now, they were actually going to plan to do it after the tour for Map of the Soul 7. And if that's true, that makes a lot of sense, especially like y'all heard me go up for Black Swan, but I even talked about it. Like, that's a song where they express like their worries of losing their passion for what they love to do. And like, if that is true, that song hits me differently now and it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And
just the way they basically organized that whole album. So there's that. Again, don't know if it's, let's just say it's speculation right now. I don't know if it's true or not, but I wouldn't be surprised. But then they also talked about like the release of like Dynamite and Butter. And like they kind of said it jokingly, but they made me sad because they talked about how they released, you know, Life Goes On and Be in the middle of that and how that didn't get as much attention as like Dynamite and Butter. And I'm like, I feel the same way. And I'm like, that really sucks. Because honestly, at this point, I feel like B is one of my favorite albums.
Yeah.
So I could definitely put it in my top.
Listen to Life Goes On more than all of the English songs.
Right. I definitely bumped to like Disease and like Telepathy more. Blue and Gray still, you can't listen to it just because like I will break down. I'll have to be in a mentally stable place to listen to Blue and Gray because if I hear the lyrics, I just want to be happier. That's it. Okay.
Yeah, there's something special about the B album that other ones don't have, and it's sad that it wasn't as received as well. And I don't know
Especially,
if that's just like received by like, obviously the English songs are going to be more known internationally because some people aren't willing to listen to music that they can't understand.
yeah.
But I'm surprised that it wasn't a bigger hit in Korea itself.
Yeah, and then like this was also because we, or at least I was like through the journey, this was an album they got to participate more and like show themselves as artists, like especially individually and coming together as BTS to put their own ideas into the album. Because like they would go on YouTube live like either every week or every other week, just like showing us the process, talking about like the photo shoot that like V was in charge of, like picking out the wardrobe. And you know, just things like that. So I don't know. It just makes me sad. Okay, so let me get into the serious part. So like I just said about the map the soul. So this is where like the 22 mark, Namjoon starts like getting more serious and he talks about like the difficulties of him like being creative and like starting questioning the route BTS are going as a group after Butter and Permission to Dance. Oh, I also didn't mention this and I didn't know if I should say this like because of shade, but notice how they didn't put Permission to Dance on the anthology album.
Yeah.
Just saying. But anyway.
Yeah, they didn't really talk about that song in general. They kept just saying,
You know,
Dynamite, Butter.
They might. You know, no.
We don't need to talk about it.
I'm gonna move on. And like I said earlier, he expresses more that he started like questioning this during On, and it got worse after Butter because like he basically just said like he's running out of stories to tell. Like he just doesn't know what to say anymore. And then I've seen this quote floating around. So like he does kind of take a jab at the K-pop and idol system, which I don't blame him for. I know because he's Namjoon from BTS. Even if you're a K-pop fan, like people might take this the wrong way, but like what he said isn't wrong. So he says like the problem with the K-pop and idol system, they don't give you time to mature. You have to keep producing music and keep doing other stuff. There's no time left for growth. And it's not just about music and work. And like, I feel like I've said that before with other groups I like. Like I've said that about entails. I would consider them my second or third favorite group. And every time they come back, I was like, damn, didn't y'all just have a comeback a month ago? Like, break.
It's just, it seems like their main focus in the industry is just production. Like how much can we produce? How quickly can we produce it? So
how much can we produce while y'all are still young and able to like dance without your bodies breaking down at this point with the hard choreographies? As much as I like go up for the choreographies and like the music, because it is more like, and I think that's why I gravitated more towards K-pop, because I don't know if I ever expressed this, but like it's kind of like what the American system kind of stopped doing, especially since they stopped producing groups as artists. Like it's not as fun anymore. Like it's still good music. A lot of artists produce like good, meaningful music messages, but just like, you know, sometimes you just want to have a nice, fun song you can dance to. So that's just really my thing. But I understand, like, you're right. Like, and that's why we would always bring up the point when people would call Jin old. I'm like, he's not old. He's just old in the idol system because they put him on a shelf life. I mean, just in general, people, especially on the internet, they'd be like, when you're 30, you're dead. So we're almost in the grave, Macy.
Yay.
5 more years.
Finally. No, joking. To quote one of my favorite Jenna Marbles lines, life is short, but it's also incredibly and painfully and disgustingly long.
Oh my god. We're okay, guys, we promise. Anyway, moving on. Yes. And then they just kept continuing expressing their, like, just how busy they were, especially after Dynamite. And I always said that, like, after Dynamite, they blew up in a way no one expected them to. I'm sure even themselves. So it's only been 2 years. That's still really a short amount of time. So just to be able to handle all that all at once. Like they were already big, but it just got like 10 times. And then just like expressing how he just didn't even feel time to like think or like think about his own schedule and just had to be so focused on everyone in the group and just like trying to figure out with this newfound fame basically how to push the group anymore. Because if he doesn't know what to talk about, then what does that mean? And then like, and I was also thinking this too. That's why I thought it was weird before I knew what was happening. Like they weren't holding like a festa. He brought up like all the all the festivals that are happening since COVID restrictions are like being lifted. And he gave the same example I was thinking of Psy. Like I've seen a lot of videos of Psy doing like concerts for like, there's like thousands of people in the audience for that. And he was like, it'd be probably great if we started doing stuff like that. But like, they're just tired.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The thing that just made me sad is just like, even they said this, but like, I just felt bad that they not just scared, but they just felt like they were letting people down. And I'm really happy Taeyeon kind of like told them like most of the fans would understand, but still, because even with fans, you know, there are going to be those few that are just like, not their expectations being down, but they are going to take it like the wrong way. So
yeah, I think that's what made me more sad than the fact that they are taking a little bit of a break, is that they were so afraid to tell people that they were going to take a break. Like, they just kept saying, I hope you understand, I hope you understand. And they're like, we're not complaining about having this great opportunity, but we're just expressing the hardships that we've been going through. And, like, they feel comfortable enough to share that with us. And now they're getting some backlash on being able to share that with us. That's what makes me the most sad. Like, of course I'm sad or whatever about like not being able to go to concerts and whatnot, but like, and not having the group as a whole. But from what they have been saying and how I've taken it as, this is not like, they're still going to be content. Like, they just want to do solo stuff and develop as individual artists in order to come back as a better group with fresh ideas and like a healthier aspect towards it. So like, I think like I've seen a lot of people like really upset. It's like, oh, BTS is done, they're over, it's whatever. I didn't necessarily take it like that, and I don't think that's what they were trying to express. And I think by all means they've been doing this for like 10 years. I would be tired.
Yeah.
Like, you can only produce so much, so like, this is very minimal what they're asking for. Like, I do not think that it should be taken like this, that they just need to breathe for a minute.
Right. It goes to one of the things how me and you were talking about boundaries earlier. That's one of the things where it's kind of like you need to know your boundaries because you don't know them outside of the artistry. And like I said, like I do feel like the relationship they have with their fans is different, but at the same time, like people need to learn to respect that because still at the end of the day, they're human. And like what Namjoon was talking about, like another thing I like them because I feel like you can tell they all really do care about each other. Like, yes, they were a group of like, they didn't know each other at first and kind of just brought together over one thing. But like, you can see they really did develop a relationship with each other, like throughout the whole thing. So if they still want to be like bands like now, like want to be like a Coldplay or like, I don't know. I'm not into that many bands, guys. I'm sorry. But if you just want the longevity, you do need to be able to explore your own individuality as an artist and projects you want to do before coming back as a band. So.
Right. And I think that, you know, if any group is going to break out of this like stereotypical K-pop industry, it's going to be them. Like, I think that they can have the longevity, but they need to break out of it first. So I think this is a good opportunity to do so, is like develop as individual artists and then come back as a new group that is not sanctioned by the rules of the industry that they've been in. Even
in the K-pop industry, like y'all are seeing, we've pointed it out. Oh, well, I pointed out one time, there's like a new resurrection of like second gen groups coming back together as the group. Yeah. So even in the K-pop industry, you're seeing people that like didn't technically disband, but they went their separate ways and now they're coming back. Like, and even with the guy groups for like the men that are going off into military, it just really depends on the group and the company if they want to continue while their members are going off and doing service as a group or do individual stuff. Like you see Monsta X, they're on a tour right now while Shonu is in the military. Yeah. Another one is like Super Junior. I can point out Shiny. It's just like EXO's doing it. If you want to keep it in the K-pop world, but like you're saying, they're still in that and they're kind of not. So they kind of have a foot in the K-pop industry and kind of a foot in this like Western, not even just Western, but just like one foot in, one foot out, basically, is what I'm saying. So, like,
at the end of the day, BTS is just BTS, and they're, kind of in a unique situation. And I think that they want just as much as we want for it to be a long journey, not a short one. So, in order to do that, you gotta live your life and take breaks, and, like you said, like, live outside of this persona that you've created for yourself, because he like doesn't know who he is anymore because he's been doing this for the majority of his maturing age, so like I get it.
Yoongi brought up how it's even hard for him now to write lyrics basically on the same page as like Namjoon, because like, and he brought up an interesting point where he's like, he's kind of over doing stuff to satisfy other people, but also he said something that really struck me where he's like, at the beginning he lacked the skills but had all these ideas. Now he has the skills and he has nothing to say. So that really says a lot.
Yeah, I'm actually really, really looking forward to what their individual sounds will sound like.
Oh, I'm so excited.
BTS has a certain sound or whatever you want to classify it as. So I'm curious. Obviously, we've seen it already in a little bit of their like solo songs. Like they definitely have their own personalities that shine through their solo songs. But when it's really totally up to them, from like production and lyrics and whatnot, like they have creative control completely over their stuff. I think it's going to be really interesting to see that, and I'm looking forward to it. Like even you mentioned something about like, if I had my own concert it would be boring, so like, but he's thinking about having his own concert, which is so cool.
Which I kind of had a problem with that, because he was like, if I just rapped, I'm like, Yoongi, there are actual rappers out there who just rap, it will be fine, and you're fine at rapping. I understand, like, and that's great that you want to do other stuff, but I don't think people would be upset. But also I wanted to bring up that you mentioned it, like with their solo activities, I hope they still don't get burnt out.
Yes, no, I want it should be, I think hopefully the idea of this is they're taking a break for like health and resting and whatnot, and also just self-discovery. So if they happen to produce some music through that self-discovery, that's what would be healthy and good, and what I'm looking forward to.
Because I know Jin brought up a thing where he was talking about like he felt bad just taking a rest and laying down, and then Yoongi sent him his schedule and he was like,
right.
But it's okay, Yoongi, you can also take a rest. Even the slight like schedule Namjoon was talking about, I'm like how you said, Macy, when do you have time to breathe? Yeah.
Do you sleep? Do you eat? Like, what's going on?
I don't think so. I don't think so, but I hope you do. Because like how I mentioned in a highlight thing, and as much stuff as we made fun of Blackpink for being a musical artist and how they don't make much music, I have that more with the company than themselves. They seem to be doing fine and enjoying what they're doing individually. So
yeah, I just don't think it's necessary.
I hope it turns into a thing like that.
Yeah, to be like, oh, this is the end of the world, because like this is going to be a really healthy thing for them. I think they're going to enjoy it. And I think that they love their group so much that there's no way that they wouldn't come back unless they just like, are living their lives and things get beyond what they're expecting. But I think people are like mourning this group that's like disappearing, which that's just not the case. So
I won't gonna lie, I did tweet something where like before this, it wasn't really a mourning. I think I expressed more I was exciting for their things than really being sad. So I don't remember all I said, but
yeah, initially before I watched the dinner, I was just seeing what people were saying, and I was like, oh crap, like, are we done? Is this it? And that made me a little bit sad. But then once I watched it, I was like, okay, I'm fine. This is, obviously they need this, and we're still going to be seeing them. They're still going to be in my realm of like what I'm looking at and whatnot. And hopefully when they come back, they'll feel refreshed and have a new story and all that fun stuff. So
exactly.
I just want them to enjoy what they're doing, because like, I feel like I think June said it a couple of times where it's like, I'm sorry for not meeting your expectations. And I'm like, dude, what expectations? Because you've blown through like anything that I think anybody expected from them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what you're trying to prove, but you're good. You know, you can take it easy, because like, I certainly don't expect anything more. And like, they've done such a great job with their fandom already. Like, they're probably one of the most well-known musical acts ever. So like, I don't know how you're letting anybody down. And it's sad to me to think that they think that they're letting people down. So,
especially Namjoon as the leader. And he said some other stuff too, like how when they were getting more famous, like especially with the English, it was hard for him because he really is the only one for now that is the most fluent in English. And he's like, these interviews are hard because like I can't speak for the other members because I'm not in their mind, and it's hard for translation to really like express how they want to talk about something. So like he says sometimes he felt bad because he felt like he was talking for them, and that's not really what he wanted to do, which makes sense, especially when you're trying to translate differently. Like that's why I always enjoyed like when I watch interviews and he would get to speak his native language and they had like another translator, or like they would translate it themselves, because it gets them all a chance to express themselves. Yeah. So, and I just think it hits him the hardest because, like I said, he is like the leader. So, and in charge of a lot of stuff. He's got a lot of
responsibility on his shoulders that, you know,
for not even being the oldest.
I think it's gone a little too far. So I think it's really good that they're going to take a break from it, despite what other people might be saying and be upset about. So,
especially towards the end when he started crying.
Oh my God, and it was I can't watch any of them cry, but like...
Especially the members that barely cry. Like him, like... And I think we're kind of like the same. We're like, we don't cry a lot, but if we do, it's kind of just like, oh my God, like this is serious. Like they're really tired. Like I remember, I don't know if I said on the podcast, I think I said, I think I scared you when we went to go see them in New York and we were waiting for our plane. And we were just kind of sitting there. You saw me just started crying. I like, just started bawling. I mean, there was other stuff that was going on, and I expressed it was mostly because the text my brother sent me, and it was just thinking of that whole week we had. Like, I had so much fun. Like, I just got more emotional than I thought I would. But it's just like that. It's just like you can tell, like he's really tired. And I feel like I've pointed out stuff before where I said it looked like they're tired, but like I can tell they're exhausted. I really need them to have this break. And for everyone that's showing and sharing those memes and videos of him crying, please stop, because it's not funny. It's really not funny.
It's so heartbreaking, because it would be different if he was just, you know, if they were just, like, as an example, if they were just leaving and he was just like getting emotional about the times they had and whatnot, but he is breaking down crying because he's just so tired and he doesn't have anything more to give, and he doesn't want to say that he doesn't, which is so sad.
That broke my heart more, and I'm glad I waited to watch the video, because if I watched it when it dropped like everyone else, I would have been sobbing. I know Zarya texted me, she was sobbing, but it was like, that just makes, and like sometimes I'm sitting here, I'm like, is it also my fault? Because like how I was saying earlier, how I kept expressing like, I don't know what's happening, but like they're gonna go on tour, I can't wait. And I'm like, I'm not disappointed though. If you need a break, you need a break. And that's why I think that's admire them about like they're so, they're at the top right now. They're so high. For them to be as high they are right now and saying like, we need a break before we literally burn out and just like give up on this completely. I respect that a lot.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between, you know, like, of course you're excited about new concerts and new albums. Like, that's part of what's keeping them going, is being excited about that stuff. And like, of course you want to support it when it comes out. But what I think people are missing is that, okay, we were excited, but now listening to what they've had to say, you should be able to understand where they're coming from. And like some people aren't understanding. They're taking it as like, oh, they hate us. They don't want to do this anymore. They're giving up. Whereas like, no, that's not what they're saying. Like, you're not listening to what he's saying. He's just tired and he doesn't want to just produce music to produce music. He wants it to be good music and have a message and all that stuff. So you have to take a step back sometimes. Like every artist has art block and like gets tired. So like, do you want him just to be a machine that produces stuff that doesn't mean anything? Or would you rather give him the break that he deserves and like be happy doing it?
Because listen, we can see the difference between when they were making stuff out of their own enjoyment and for their passion and when they were making stuff just to make stuff. And yes, I will say Dynamite and Butter and Permission to Dance. I'll say it because you can tell the difference. And I understand what he meant by like he was starting to lose his way. Like, I will go up, especially for Dynamite, especially the time that it was. And I'm glad they did it to, like, try to bring some type of joy for the fans. But, like, that's where a lot of their criticism was coming from, too. I don't know about Korean media because I don't follow Korean media like that. And I can't translate the articles that do come out. So I don't know. But I know especially, like, longer term K-pop fans, you know, how they like to pick at them like, oh, they're becoming too westernized. Which, what does that even mean again? Because K-pop is derived from Western music. So I don't understand when people accuse a K-pop group of becoming westernized. What are you talking about? It's all the same to me. No, besides the way they train and put out music is different. But other than that, I don't see the difference.
No, I think it's the same as well. I think more so than anything is that they don't need to force themselves to sing in English. That's what I would have the most problem with. Like, it's not westernized. It's because the music... Like, do
it because you want to, not because you're forced to.
Yeah, the pop music is westernized already. It's just like... I think what he was saying is like, I don't necessarily think that they should be singing in all English because 90% of them don't speak English, so they can't express themselves how they want to. And the lyrics are, we talked about this in the past, the lyrics are much more basic. Like, they don't really have a meaning. It's just a fun song, which those songs have their place. But to keep going and moving forward, they're not an English group. That's not how it works. That's not their main language. That's not how they express themselves.
Because, like, even with the Korean songs that I listen to and love, like, and I'm going to shout out all the translators out there that y'all be doing the work and been doing the work for years. Like, seriously, you don't understand. Thank you. Like, when I go onto like either their Twitter accounts or if they make their own websites and they just explain, like, you guys don't understand some of these lyrics are just so deep, like within their culture and just like the things they've experienced. And like, that's kind of the same with English, like even with English artists here. Like deep, meaningful songs. Sometimes you have to understand the language. And then like if it's from a specific culture, understand the culture and just like so many things that goes with it.
I've always hated the argument like, oh, learn English because you're so big over here. No, it is not their responsibility to learn English if they do not want to. It's your responsibility. If you want to listen to their original music, you're going to have to put in the work to understand it.
Even like if you don't want to learn Korean, just do your research. You can find, like I said, I just shouted out a bunch of translators. You can find plenty of translators that like take their time out of the love for the artists that they enjoy to share it with the world. Or like even articles.
And that's breaking down what every little thing in their songs and music videos mean. So there's no reason to be ignorant.
Yes. I'm still upset with like also American media is taking them this long, like because K-pop's getting so big to like start translating on their own and actually hiring professional translators. And I won't even say that for K-pop because they do that for anything that is not English. So I love me some Bad Bunny. He's great. But that's just an example like outside of K-pop. Right.
Like I would consider myself a more casual listener because I don't go deep dive. I do on some, like when I want to know what something means, I'll do my research to figure it out. But you can also just enjoy music to enjoy music. You don't have to know every little thing.
Yeah, that's something I started learning as I got older, really. Like, and I think that's why I like dance music so much, because there's a lot of dance music I listen to that don't have lyrics, but you can just, you know, you feel it. So.
Yeah. Well, anyway. overall, I have a very positive outlook on why they're doing this, and I think that their reason for doing it is a really good one, and I hope that they can truly enjoy the break and not have people harassing them all the time and like them be worried about it, because I know that they seem a little bit angry and agitated with how it's been received already. I hope that doesn't change anything and they take a good break and they don't regret it and like they can actually enjoy it. So
yes, and I will also be another bearer of bad news. I'll be the bad guy today for this episode. I feel like I already am. I'm sure this has to do with enlistment, to be honest. I'm sure enlistment has to do with a little bit of this. And if what I was talking about with the on promotion is true, I don't know if maybe like Jin and possibly Yoongi, because they're not that far apart in age, would have gone earlier. But because I stopped seeing a lot of articles, especially I know they changed like leadership of like trying to get them exams. So I do know they're going to have to go. I don't know for how long. I've said this on so many things. I don't like talking about their politics because I'm not Korean. I don't live in South Korea. I'm not from South Korea. So I don't feel comfortable talking about stuff I don't understand just for a musical group, because there's so much more that goes on outside the music. But anyway, I do feel like that is part of the reason for them doing solo projects, and they decided they wanted to wait until they're all 7 again and do solo projects and try to continue stuff as a group without like 1 or 2 members.
And I think that's appropriate. I think that they have every right to do that. And obviously, this is a part of culture that we don't really understand, but it's important to them and their country. So if they're wanting to go and do this, they have every right to be, and you should be understanding of it, because it happens all the time with other groups. So why can't it happen with them?
It's not like this is uncommon. So again, I don't understand. It's not like they're doing anything different.
And I think we've also said in the past that it just wouldn't be the same if one of them was missing. So I kind of like the approach that they're just going to be soloist until they're all back together, because I think it would just be odd if one of them was missing. So...
And like even Jimin said in the video, he's like, yes, he's not a solo artist. He's a member of a group, but he also wants to like explore, you know, his interests, likes and dislikes as an artist himself and grow as himself. And that growth can be put into when they come back together. So it's like, I just see it as a good thing. I mean, I know like obviously when this came out and then when I rewatched this, I don't know if you saw it, but I think they changed it because I didn't see the word hiatus in there like at the beginning, but I wasn't paying attention. So I don't know if it's still in there or not. I blame One Direction because all the media was like, oh my God, they're breaking up. It's a hiatus. There's disbanding. No more BTS. What's the next K-pop group that's going to replace BTS? Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Please.
So I just watched this last night, so it would be fresh.
I did too, actually.
And I saw the word hiatus and disbandment.
Okay, so it is still there.
At one point, but not in the beginning. And it was, I don't remember who was saying it, but it was like, it's we're not disbanding, or a hiatus, or whatever you want to call it. It's just like a break.
Said that.
So yeah, so I think they refer to it as a break everywhere else, and he mentions those specific words at one point, but I don't think he's saying that they're taking one. I think he's saying that's not really what it is, you know?
Yeah. They're taking a break as a group, but just not as their own personal schedules, basically.
Yeah.
And I also saw that, like, not them, but like the company had to come back and like clear up stuff, because apparently I know nothing about the stock market, and that's why I kind of wish the fees was still here. But apparently Hype's stock went down like 20%.
Well, geez.
Which is a lot. And apparently I found this Bloomberg article I'm attached at the bottom, because I really feel like it's a good article talking about like a brief summary of their stocks without being too biased of like what's actually happening with BTS. But I got from that article how it said it went down 28%, wiping out $1.7 billion in market value, which is the lowest on record since they went public as a company. So yeah. And that's another thing. Like I'm proud of them for building Big Hit up and like making sure they didn't go under. But it also makes me angry how much they really depend on them. And I know they bought other companies with like other groups, and they have TXT and now in Hyphen. But it's like with that, like, damn, they still really depend on BTS a lot. And that's not a good thing business wise.
No, and it's not BTS's responsibility to hold their company up.
It's really not. I don't feel like ever was.
No.
To be honest, my opinion. It was important so they can continue doing what they're doing, but at the end of the day...
Well, I think, at the end of the day, I don't think it's necessarily something to be worried about either, because I think that we're experiencing a drop because of the shock that was happening. But eventually, when they start... I know June had mentioned something about, like, the mixtapes are going to be made into actual albums. So I'm sure that will combat some of that, which that's so cool. I would love an album dedicated to each member.
Another thing that made me think of Alyssum, because Jim kind of, I don't know if anyone picked it up, but he was kind of saying it like jokingly, where he was like, he just got like some songs in and he predicts he might be the last one to actually release the album. So I was like, is it because you're working on it, or is it because of enlistment?
Probably both.
Probably both. So,
because I know some of the other members have been working on, especially like Tay and J-Hope, they've been working on individual stuff for a long time, but they just haven't released it yet because they're really picky.
especially Taeyong and Jungkook, because we've heard the stories of them making stuff and deleting stuff. I think Jungkook at one point actually really did have a whole mixtape and he deleted everything. So
I think, like, I don't know if Jin has necessarily been doing that. So if he's just
probably
starting,
not. And like, if he doesn't want to, he don't have to.
Yeah, if he's just starting now, it makes sense for him to be last, combined with if he has to go away for a bit. So
yeah, I get it. So yeah, that's basically the whole dinner. I had more points, but I feel like me and Macy really summed up our like opinions the best without me having to do all the bulletin points. So I'm glad. And then the day after, we had to come up with some clarification. So first we'll start off with, now I know Tay did a V Live before the video drop, but I didn't watch it, so I can't speak on his, but I did watch Jungkook's. So just real quick, like brief. And I think his title's literally like, I'm coming in to clear up some stuff.
Yeah, like,
V Live from
everybody
home.
Stop freaking out. Stop freaking out.
Calm down.
Yeah, deep breath.
So, like, he did his under 10 minutes, so he was like, all right, guys, come on now. He's like, I went to bed, I went out with my family, and I come back to this mess. So he said he woke up to a bunch of articles talking about them breaking up, and like, he basically wanted to reiterate that they're not disbanding. And even now, did people forget they just dropped Proof? They're still doing stuff to promote Proof. They're still doing stuff as a group. This is not happening like right now. They still have plans. So just that, basically to say they're not disbanding, but I thought it was so funny how he mostly came on to clear stuff about himself.
The mattresses.
The mattresses, and I guess they were making fun of him about, like, he has a bunch of air diffusers, which I never really paid attention to. I wonder if they have so much because of their air quality over there.
Or he just likes his room to smell nice. I don't know.
I guess. But it was like, he was like, I just have a bunch because I don't have a place to put them. So that's why they're on the floor, guys. And then the thing with the mattress, he's like, I wanted to clear that up because he saw some stuff online. They were just over exaggerating. Like, they're teasing me. Yes, I do have more than one mattress, but like, it's just nice to lay down whenever he feels like. And I was like, Jungkook, you can get a couch.
Right.
Or you could go in your room to lay down. The more I learn about him, I just adore this man so much.
Right.
He's just funny.
Maybe he's got a mattress there so that Bam can get on it with him. So it's like just straight up on the ground. I don't know what the situation is.
I don't know, because he seemed like those mattresses were for him, not for the dog. But do you, Jungkook? That's all I have to say. And then, of course, I adore him. I do. I really do.
So much to my like chaotic Gen Z brain. Like, I try to be normal and then I just fall into whatever that is.
Did you know he was drinking wine with ice in like a coffee mug too?
I did not.
Do you not own a wine glass? Let's pretend y'all just moved in. I don't know if that's a tradition in Korea like it is here to give people housewarming gifts. Can one of the members please give him a housewarming gift for some wine glasses?
Right.
Or maybe he just didn't feel like taking them out. Maybe he does have them. He just didn't feel like using them. I don't know.
Yeah. Or he doesn't care. It's a cup. It works.
That too. He's like, it just holds it like every other functioning cup. It don't matter. Which respect.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny. Yeah, and then the rest was just like him answering questions, talking about his day, doing karaoke, and I was
washing
also like
dishes while he's saying
washing dishes. And when he's doing karaoke,
being
I'm like,
sassy.
do you not have neighbors?
Well, if he lives in a house, it wouldn't matter.
Does he live in a house or an apart? You know what? That's none of my business. But still, it was just funny. And he said something how he's not a great singer. You're a great singer, Jungkook. Stop talking like that. That's all I have to say. So, yes. Again, and then just real quick, I'm trying to be as quick as possible, guys. I know we've been here forever with all our technical difficulties. Macy, still there with me?
Yeah.
Okay. You just started, you're fuzzy a little, so I just want to make sure.
I'm also having some Wi-Fi issues. So I'm just trying to, it's getting better, but I don't know what's happening.
Okay. Give me 10 more minutes and then we're almost done. So let me bring up the letters that Taeyong and RM posted on Weverse. So of course they're translated. I'll shout out one Twitter user that I follow. I think I've been following her since I got into BTS, but her username is like BTS translation 7, and in her handle, I think her name is Clara. So I feel like her translations to me was like the best to read off of. So thank you. We'll start off with V's letter that he posted when the video started. So roughly, he basically said, "We are happy. The seven of us may have different interests, likes, and dislikes. We may have different personalities, and we may live life differently. But because we think of our army with one heart, we knew Run BTS had to continue." So that means more Run BTS, guys. And I'm excited. I love Run BTS. It makes me laugh so much. And they look like they have fun doing it. For the last 10 years, we never stopped looking up towards what awaited us. We were scared. We sacrificed me for us, for our team, and there was always happiness, but undoubtedly closely followed by the exhaustion and difficulty that came after. And now this is just the beginning. The first footsteps we are taking to ensure we will remain together as Bangtan for a long time. And I have no doubt that our armies will love to see our growth in our own ways. The purple string of fate that ties Army and Bangtan together is strong and will not ever break. Moving forward, I hope you'll join us and continue to watch our bond only deepen and strong together. We love Army so much. And then I don't know if people understand that reference of the purple string. I know that's a thing in like Korea. It's a red string though. We're supposed to like, yeah, when you like
on your pinkies that connect your fated one.
Yeah, your soulmate. So he's basically saying that's how Army and BTS are, but with purple because our colors are purple. So yeah, any thoughts on that, Macy?
I think that what he said is great, and I think people are ignoring the fact that they're not going anywhere. Just calm down. It's just like they're just breathing for a second. But I like what he said. You know, it seems very positive. Obviously, they have no intentions of like giving up. They just need some time to reflect and grow.
And then I'll move on to Namjoon's, because when I saw it, because, you know, it's all in Korean. So I was like, oh, my God, this is long. I don't know if this is good or bad. And I did hit the translation on Weverse, which aren't the best. And as I was reading their translations, like, oh, God, he's pissed. Like, y'all done already pissed this man off.
Yeah. Someone I saw on TikTok, she just read it out. Like, so I have heard his whole letter by someone who translated it. Like, she even did it in like a more serious tone to like give off what he was giving off.
Yeah. So poised and professionally, but I could tell he was like over it. So again, by the same translator that I use on Twitter, I got hers translation. So this is what she wrote that he basically was saying. So he said, and he posted this the day after the video came out. After the video aired yesterday, I received the most messages since the day of debut. Can we talk about how the most messages since they debuted out of everything they've done?
It's insane.
And I don't know if this is like maybe from friends and family he barely talks to, or like maybe even friends he thought he was close to, but that is really sad to me and sus. And yeah, so that right there is already like, damn. I noticed many of the articles, screenshots, and such were titled with charged keywords like disbandment, stopping activities, announcement, etc. It's not that I didn't see this coming, nor can I say I wasn't ready to see the headlines, but I cannot deny that it didn't feel good, and it wasn't our intent for people to pick apart a video where we were spilling tears and pouring our hearts out. The video was intended as in its name as an informal Bangtan team dinner solely dedicated to our army who were joining us in celebration of 9 years of debut. I understand there could be comments from outsiders like they're being dramatic or they're saying that because they're successful, but what artists, what fans would have come this far, nearing 10 whole years if they hadn't weathered those comments. There has to be something special between us, Bangtan, and Army to share nearly 10 years together without pause. Faced with the question, we've expressed this exact sentiment in countless hundreds of interviews. It's not easy to describe in a few words. In any case, what we shared in the video was a confession of sorts, a response to all of our fans who, through all this time, gave us their everything without asking for a single thing in return. As those of you who watched the video may know, the title Yet to Come precisely suggests that this moment is not the end. This, exactly as it is, was what we wanted to say. Seeing the screenshots of me crying my eyes out, being shared again and again, it even made me think, maybe I shared too much, I should have stayed quiet. It appears that my attempt at sharing honesty became the root of too much understanding and chaos. The main point of what I would like to share, we're not trying to make some claims that 2 equals 1. We opened our hearts, mustered the courage to tell you that 1 still equals 1. Then you walk through the honest feelings that we felt through the process. I have complete confidence, no doubt, that our armies know us, will understand exactly what we say as we say it. Everything we said in the video was shared exactly as it was intended to be. As Jungkook and Taeyoung both shared, as on V-Live, we've always candidly discussed our long-term future as BTS. Of course, we had our own disagreements, but we were kids in our teens and 20s, learning to mature and live among others for the first time. I understand this letter may be perceived as making another fuss, and I fear I may be another person adding fuel to the fire of noise. I wanted to set the record straight. As a person who was responsible for sharing the most that night, I want to thank every single one of you who watched the video, shared your positive support and love, whether from close or far away, whether it may be as a team or an individual. I'll work hard to show you real growth. Thank you.
Mic drop.
Any words? I mean, he really just basically spoke for himself, to be honest. Yeah. I don't know if I could say more to that. Just, I'm upset he had to do that, but
people are not taking what he said it in his thing, but people are not taking what they're saying at face value and like freaking out over like the idea of them just stopping when, you know, obviously they have things going on and they're people and they need to live their lives and whatnot. So, and like, just because they're complaining about the hardships that they went through doesn't mean that they aren't grateful for like how they got there and how they've developed. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think he said it fine. And then even at the end, like he even pointed out in this letter, he's like, even with me saying this, it's not going to make a difference because there'll still be people out there that'll twist what he's saying, still consider him being like privileged and he's just complaining and all that. So you're never going to make people happy, but like still just to come clear the air, which once again, they're not disbanding. Mm-hmm. And hopefully real fans will still be there even for their solo projects.
I think they will, because I think there's a lot of people like us. It's just a lot of people that you see on the internet right now are the ones that are freaking out. So... or complaining.
Yeah. So, yeah. Before I get into the solo projects that were announced, I was debating if I wanted to share this or not, but like I saved this screenshot. It mostly talks about Twitter, but I feel like this basically sums up what happened the past 2 days. And it's a tweet I've seen circulate like regularly, so I don't know who actually started it. But it says Twitter is the only place where articulated sentences still get misinterpreted. You can say, I like pancakes, and someone will say, so you hate waffles? No, bitch. That's a whole different sentence. What the fuck are you talking about? And that's what I feel like it is. Like, they didn't say they're Hispanic. So, personally, that's just my whole summary of, like, everything that's been happening. But yeah. any thoughts before I get into the projects that have been announced so far? I could go first. I mean, I feel like I shared what I wanted to share. It's like they keep saying, it's basically just a new beginning. Again, Macy, I'll thank you for introducing me to BTS because, like, I knew about them on my own in 2017. I feel like I mentioned this before when they first started breaking out with DNA, but, like, I just had no desire of really, like, looking up them myself. So I'm glad I did. And, like, not to say this in a bad way, because this isn't the first time, if people don't know, that they expressed they're tired. I mean, Tear was actually almost their disbandment album, if no one remembers that. So this is basically like probably second. Hell, this might even be like the 10th time of like stuff we didn't even see. And we only know about that because when they won an award that Jin did say that where they all started breaking down the end of 2018 or 2019. I think it's 2018. Yeah, it was 2018 because it was before Persona came out. But still, so like if they did at that time, I wouldn't have discovered them because I really became a fan during Idol. So that was really the first time I feel like they really pushed themselves to keep going. And it's like, I just feel like at this point, like we just keep saying, they've already proved themselves enough. It's fine for them to take a break. I honestly would have been fine even if they're like, we're taking a break and they're not doing anything, because they deserve that too. They deserve some rest. They deserve sleep to start like eating properly and not have to worry about like their image or like the crazy diet culture and just like all this other mess. So if some members just want to chill and honestly not do anything, that's fine with me. If they want to continue doing things, which I know they're going to, whether it's like music or if they want to do stuff outside, like if Taeyong finally wants to start acting again, if Jin wants to start acting, that is fine with me too. I feel like I'm at this point where like I will be there, and like I expressed earlier, I don't regret like being their fan. So like it's been fun, even though I haven't been with them since the beginning. I still feel like I grew up with them because like I got into my early 20s. I'm in my mid 20s now, so like I got to spend my early 20s with them, and like I just had fun. A lot of my great memories, especially with like you and like other friends we met, are just like full of so much joy. And I'm glad BTS were a part of that. And also thanks to BTS, like I feel like it helped me break the ice more because I am introverted. Like I never would have met Nafis or Brianna. I would have known Nafis, but I don't feel like we would have gotten as close because it was our like manager when we worked at the library who broke the ice for us when they're like, so did you know Simone is into BTS? And me and Nafis looked at each other like, oh, you like BTS? And that just started something when she saw Brianna at the Korean festival we went to, which I never would have went to if it wasn't for BTS. And I met her and then we started talking about it. She's like, oh, you like BTS too? And that's the same with Sam at like when we were learning the Korean language and just like other stuff I never would have thought. Like you heard us talk about like when we watched on like in the middle of the night and stuff. I've done so much I feel like I never would have done on my own or for anyone else. So like it was tiring, but it's just fun stuff I can look back on. So honestly, at the end of my rant, I'm just like happy I could share happy moments with them. Just want to thank them for that. And then like I was going to say I wish them happiness, but like it made me think back on our 1-year anniversary. I hope they're able to find contentment in their life because I feel like that's more powerful than happiness because contentment lasts longer. So that's all I really want to say.
I think to add to that is like I am happy with all of the memories I've made thus far, even if I don't get to make any more. But I'm like, obviously, I think we're hopeful and they're saying that they're going to continue. So, but I am already more than grateful for what I've already received. That like, I think it's just nice to take a step back and let them also, you know, just reminisce and grow and take a breather. So,
and like we say, we listen to other groups, but I know they're not going to hit like BTS does for us, but still. So I'm just excited for them. I'm happy for them, to be honest. Like, I'm more happy, honestly, than anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't feel any of those feelings of like resentment or sadness or anything like that. I think it's overall 100% a positive thing. So I just hope that the rest of their fandom can see that.
Yeah, for people we don't know that lives like halfway around the world.
Yeah.
But that's the joy and beauty of it. Just never thought it would happen.
Such a unique and special connection.
Yeah. So before we go, guys, we will talk about the solo projects that already have been announced. So the first one starts with J-Hope. I'm so excited for him. He's going to be performing at Lollapalooza, even though I'm not a festival girl, but that's just so cool, in Chicago. And he's performing on the last day, which is July 31st, as a headliner. And he's actually the first Korean artist to headline, I don't think only Lollapalooza, but I think just a major American festival, like, in general. He is the first, like, so they're already breaking records, like, as soloist.
Right.
And it's also been announced that he will be the first one to release a solo album. I think they said mid-July, so he might actually release it before his set at Lollapalooza, because the set's going to be an hour long. So Hope World's only about like 30 minutes if you if you add his other solo songs, if he decides to perform them, like Chicken Noodle Soup, or like even his solo works off of BTS albums. So we'll see. I'm excited. I hope I have a chance to watch that somewhere. I think it'll be broadcast on YouTube, and hopefully I'll be home by that time, because I got to think about the time difference. But yeah, he will be first. Can't wait to see it. I'm going to be really sad that I'm not going to be one of the first people to hear like Baseline or Daydream live.
Right?
It's fine though. It's fine. I could just be like everyone else, just experience it through online. That's one of the beauties of online. We have a love and hate relationship with the internet. So the second is Taeyong is doing his own version of In the Soup with his friends from the Wooga squad. I still don't know what the hell Wooga means. I feel like I read it for somewhere, but I don't remember. So it's going to consist of him and his actor friends, Park Seo-joon. Still can't pronounce his last name right. I don't know if it's pronounced Choi or Che Woo-shik, Park Hyung-shik, and musical artist Peak Boy. I hope y'all know who at least Park Seo-joon is. I mean, like, come on.
Right? One of the best Korean actors of all time.
I'm excited to see him in the upcoming Marvel movie that's going to come out next year.
I hadn't
You know, he was
heard
going
about
to, yeah, he's going to be in a Marvel movie. I'm like, damn,
really
man.
cool. You get your own Marvel superhero, you've officially succeeded in life.
Yes. So if you guys don't know who those other people I said are, I'm sure you do. And at least 3 of them were on that one drama V was on, Hwarang, together. So just look up. I'm sure if you're into like Korean dramas, you've seen them. I wrote them down, but this is already long enough, so I just can't say what they've been in. So, and then just released the other day, Jungkook announced that he has a song coming out with Charlie Puth called Left and Right. That'll be out June 24th.
Yeah,
I'm not going to lie.
What?
Go ahead. No, I was going to say, I'm not. I know Charlie Puth, obviously. If you ask me to name one of his songs, I can't think of any.
Yeah, he recently came out with, I think it's called like Light Switch or something. I really like it. But I saw he made a TikTok with Jungkook, and he's like speaking English in it and whatnot, and they're like talking about the song or whatever.
I watched it. It was cute. I know some fans don't like Charlie Puth. I don't know him. I don't really care. But I'm still only going to listen to it for Jungkook. So
I think he's pretty talented, but like that's just, it doesn't really matter. But
it don't matter. Not everyone, like we keep saying, not everyone's going to like everyone. I don't have a problem with him. I don't know him. I don't listen to his music. But I'm just saying, this song, obviously, I'm going to listen for Jungkook.
I think he has a hand in a lot of production, so you may have heard stuff that he was involved in and just not known that it was him.
Maybe.
And then, you know, a lot of his songs are on the radio, so.
I don't listen to the radio like that anymore.
Well, just especially when you're, like, walking around in a store or something, like.
Oh, yeah, if a Charlie Puth song is playing, I have no idea.
Exactly. So I have a feeling that you've probably heard a lot of them, but you wouldn't even know.
Didn't he do a song with Selena Gomez? I think I got it mixed up when I was talking about... Yeah, no? Didn't he?
I'd have to look it up. I don't know.
Girl, I don't remember at this point. Anyway, that's pretty much it, guys. We're done. We got through it with all our technical difficulties. This is so
still struggling.
long. I knew it was going to be long.
For like almost 3 hours?
Yeah, 3 hours.
God, and they're not even gonna hear all our struggle. There's like a lot of that. We spent like an hour of this recording is gonna have to be cut out because it's just nothing. It's just silence of us trying to connect FaceTime.
I hope Nafis sends me her part, at least for the beginning, so. But yeah, basically, with all that, we're just taking the time to celebrate our favorite group, our favorite artist, BTS, saying that we wish them the best, contentment.
Good job, guys. You've done such a great job. Like,
honestly,
I hope that they see that and not just see what people are saying right now.
I hope so too. It's easy to get distracted with all like the negative noise. So another thing I just want to say real quick. I just want people to leave people alone. That's really it. Yeah. I want people to leave BTS alone. I want people to leave even the fans. I want people to leave like people that don't like them alone. You do not have to attack everybody that do not like BTS. I'm sorry. It just makes things worse. And then like a lot of things too.
We're allowed to have things that we like and dislike. It's not that deep. Exactly.
Because a lot of the attacks that I see turn like so racist so quick. And like for what? Whether it's racist toward the fan or even other groups, which is weird because you're being racist to another Korean group and BTS are Korean themselves. So it's like, what is the point of all this? I wish people just leave people alone.
Yeah, it's a really hard world to live in right now. Like with just all the negativity that people are producing. Like, why can't we just be happy about things and treat people kindly and whatnot? But people just don't seem to want to do that. They just want to be little asshats and like. Yeah.
And I'm not even at the point of like world peace. I'm just at the point like just leave people alone.
Well, just common decency. It's not about like being friends with everybody. Like just stay in your lane and don't like harass people. It's not that hard. It is harder to be mean to someone than to just ignore them. Like you're going out of your way and making an effort to be rude to someone. It's very easy to be polite and kind to people.
Like, and doesn't that physically hurt you? Like, it physically hurts me just to, like, I don't like getting mad. I don't like getting upset. I feel icky when I'm mean to people. And it's like, for what? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm so hyper vigilant about how I come across to people that I'm like, did I forget to smile at them? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so bad. I'm so aware of it.
Girl, me and Nafis went through this whole thing. We were talking about the whole... Yeah, we got into this whole conversation, especially with us, of like, I'm black and her as a person of color, how it's just even 10 times 4. So I think that's another thing where my like perception on things come, because I have to be extra careful of like how I project myself, which we also kind of got into a little bit with the turning red of like trying to change that. But at the end of the day, it's like this way the society is like, I can't help that. I just need to make sure how I'm presenting protects myself. To be honest.
Yeah.
Whether that's physically or emotionally.
Yeah, it just sucks.
Yeah, it does.
People just can't be themselves, but like not be at each other's throats either. Like, I don't know what's going on right now, but focus on me and how I can improve rather than worrying about other people, which I hope that they can do that too.
Yes. So everyone out there, we hope you can take this very hard times to just focus on yourself, finding your own contentment, you know, and just leaving people alone. That's what I'll end it with. We wish everyone the best.
Go read a book
in these crazy times.
Other people. Oh gosh, I think I missed the last thing that you said.
It's fine. You'll hear it when I edit this. Okay. Let's get ready to go because we're starting to have more technical difficulties. But this has been our very, very long, difficult episode, guys. Well, we made it. We kept running. Like BTS said, we kept running.
It's been a struggle.
We made it.
I'm tired.
Macy, can you please do the closing? Because I am done talking.
Okay. I don't know how good it's gonna be, but like
it's fine.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to us despite our many struggles. I can't even say the word struggles right. Jeez. Thank you for riding the struggle bus with us this week. All right. Anyway, you go listen to reminisce on BTS. Go listen to some BTS. Let us know if you like this kind of content. I know we got a little more serious in this one. So if you like this kind of stuff, you can.
I feel like this has been the most serious we've been. Even with Turning Red, this is the most serious we've ever been.
Yeah. So I mean, for the most part, I like when we do fun things, but this is like a little bit of a change of pace, so let us know how you feel about this kind of content. You can find us anywhere on social, well, not anywhere. We have Instagram and Twitter at I Was Thinking Pod, and you can email us any suggestions at iwasthinkingpod@gmail.com.
Yes. There you go, Macy. We're almost there.
All right. Thank you so much for listening. Don't come for us.
And we have more. Don't come for us. We have more content coming out, guys. We have more of the games. We have more movies and animation that we want to talk about. So this is a fun time. Like BTS is closing out one chapter and you're starting a new one. I feel like we are as well as we continue with this podcast. So we wish them the best, and definitely
go up from here. So
exactly. And when they do their solo stuff, you know we're going to talk about it. So
well, there will be much more BTS content, hopefully just more fun stuff. And then we just wanted to talk about this because it's relevant and get our opinions out there. And now that we can focus on the new things to come. So I hope you'll stay tuned.
Yes. Thank you guys for listening. And we will see you next time, whenever that is, because we don't have a set schedule. But thank you for sticking around for this long.
Chaotic and we don't know what we're doing.
But thank you for listening to our chaos. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Go get it, 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 go get it. Feel it fast, let us die young.